Hello and welcome everyone to another edition of Teatime Tales. I was working on a deck for the tabletop game that I was hoping to stream, but it still needs a little more time in the oven and for me to get it going. So I thought I'd keep it rolling with the digital game again today, and next week I'll probably be back with a tabletop stream. So for those of you joining for the first time, Tea Time Tales is a segment where I play both the tabletop Lord of the Rings LCG and the digital version. And the whole idea behind this series is basically taking a deck that's experimental, that's maybe not quite ready to go, but putting it through a test and seeing what kind of tweaks I need to make to it along the way. So last time around, it was, just getting my hands on the digital game for the first time. So essentially, there wasn't much in the way of experimental deck building. I was playing my... let's hop into the deck builder here. I was playing my Kenai deck, which has turned out to be really powerful. I've gotten a perfect score on a few quests. I do need to take it into hard mode and see how it does, but I have a feeling it'll be fine and do well. Having two ranged heroes happens to work out pretty well. But today, since I'm gonna try to be more to the Tea Time Tales theme of trying some more experimental deck building, I think I'm gonna play a 3 Hunters deck. So that is Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli. So the thing is that I'm not expecting, I guess my caveat is this definitely won't be like a perfect score or high score deck by any means, because I don't think we're quite there yet in the card pool to make a deck like this work that way. But really it's just to have some fun and see how effective a 3 Hunters deck can be. Test it and see if there's any changes that I need to make along the way. Before we get started, I'm drinking my tea, of course, today in my Star Trek mug. Just some simple chai, pure leaf chai today. Okay, let's hop through the deck list real quick. So we got 2 warrior swords, of course, it's 0 cost, that's good. 1 bow of the Galathrium, mainly because I'm not totally convinced how good this one is yet, but I might as well make use of... this is a 2 tactics, level 2 tactics card, meaning you need 2 tactics heroes to use it. So I have that. I'll throw 1 in. 2 airborne watchmen, 2 escorts from Edoras, 2 Galathon archers, 2 guards of the Citadel. That's kind of our suite of 1 cost allies that I love using so much. 2 sneak attacks. Mainly I put those in. One thing this deck is light on is willpower. I have to use Aragorn a lot for that. And the idea for sneak attack is hopefully the sneak attack will bring in some of those high willpower allies. But it's a crapshoot. You never know what you're going to get. It could just be another attacker with no willpower, which, can be helpful too. 2 Sigil Miners for some resources. 2 Dwarven Axes, of course, for Gimli. 2 Quick Strikes. This is just kind of my attempt to hit enemies before they can damage me. And one thing I find is once you start flooding the board with allies, it's hard to find space for more allies that you draw, so I wanted to mix it up with some events. 1 Rohirrim Lancer, 2 Veteran Axe Hands. The reason why 1 Rohirrim Lancer is just a numbers game for one particular tweak that I'll mention. Gondorian Shield, 2 of those. Since I don't have healing, I want some things that are going to boost health. This gives you 2+2 health and block. Erkenbrand, of course, because he's a powerhouse. 4 Raiments of War, again, adding that extra health along with some attack and block. And then the tweak I made from the original version of this deck is throwing 2 Gandalfs in there for some threat reduction, because without Spirit, this is our only threat reduction in town. So I added those in, and I ended up cutting 1 copy of Rohirrim Lancer. Not any particular reason why, he's just not one of the more essential allies in the deck. but we'll see how it goes. So let's go ahead and get started and hop back. And since I played Quest 1 last time, I think I'll go ahead and do In the City of Webs today, Quest 2. Let's make sure we have the right deck selected, 3 hunters, and let's go. Wait for our cinematic to load. Okay, yep, so we got our friend Uftak, who's showed up in the original Corset of the Tabletop game as well. And so basically Bilbo has been brought before the spider and Uftak. And our heroes are making their way through the forest, and then they come across these 3 spiders, Garlob, Delob, and Ulob. And that's where we're going to start our quest and have to defeat them. So, oh, I should say another reason why I picked this particular deck to play is because it doesn't use lore. I've seen a lot of discussion about how feasible it is to get a high score without lore. Again, this is not a deck that's going to do it because it doesn't have the threat reduction and the willpower and some of the other tools, I think. I have another deck that I've been using, Tom Took, Gimli, and who's the third hero? Aragorn. And that has gotten close to perfect score without lore. I just need to tweak it a little bit. Maybe I'll play that on a future stream. So I think it's possible, but it's tricky. Especially the way the current scoring system works, where it prioritizes, you know, obviously not having a certain amount of damage on your heroes. So without healing, you need to do some other kind of roundabout ways, like including attachments to boost your health and just making sure your heroes don't get hit. Easier said than done sometimes. Okay, let's look at what we got. We have 1 Erkenbrand. So I will go ahead and get rid of 1 of those copies. I'm just basically looking at my hand here, and I have 2 4-costers here. I don't want both. I want some 1-cost cheap stuff to play, especially on the first turn. It's so important to have cheap stuff to play. So I think, even though I like Raiment of War, I'm going to chuck it for now. And Veteran Accent is decent, but he's kind of on the expensive side. Sneak Attack, I mean, it could give me anything, so I'm kind of tempted to just mulligan that away as well, in the hopes of getting a more useful 1-coster like the Guard of the Citadel. Just checking in on my chat here. Yeah, a question about what's the difference between block and guard. Yeah, and sometimes it's hard getting used to the keywords in the game. Yeah, there's a lot of keywords going on, and some of them are similar in sound. Like block and guard are kind of have a similar meaning, so getting used to those. I'm kind of tempted to just chuck all of these and just keep Erkenbrand, so let's do that. That's a worst hand, actually. So I probably should have kept Sneak Attack, but oh well. We'll see how it goes. Okay, deal 1 damage. I think I'm gonna deal it to the spider with the highest attack and prioritize killing that guy first, hopefully. I think play number 1 is gonna be guarding with Willick, just to protect my heroes a bit. You know, I would like to keep Willick around, but I often end up sacrificing pretty quickly, which is what you'll probably see here since I didn't get some good ally choices. So we'll guard with Willick. That gets this guy down to 2 health, which is great for us. Now we have, without any of the 1-cost allies I was looking for, we got a tricky road here. We didn't get any of our Sigil Miners. So I think my move is going to be just to get a Rahiram Lancer out. Although they're going to kill Willick right away, so I feel like I might as well just guard with Willick. Although they might attack Legolas. Let's just guard. We're going to have to sacrifice Willick since I didn't get a good... hand. Okay. So we took care of 2 spider attacks. At this point, we're going to have to take At this point, we're going to have to take an attack on a hero. Or it could be... Well, actually, the Rohirrim Lancer has range, so... I'm still sussing out how Sauron prioritizes attacking. I know he hates ranged, so let's see if I get the Lancer on the board, whether he attacks Legolas or the Lancer. Bit of an experiment here. Yep, still hates Legolas. No surprise there. Well, the thing is right now, Sauron still has 3 resources. I have 3 heroes. I forgot this thing is on the board, which is very annoying. That causes allies to enter play exhausted. So I think first let's send Aragorn to that. We're gonna need to get rid of that pretty quickly, and Sauron will probably play an enemy or something. Let's remind ourselves of what our fate is. We can draw 2 cards, possibly helpful. We can deal 4 damage to a spider. Arundial's Star is superb, and in my other decks I try to get it, but with this very low willpower deck, I'm not sure whether I'll be able to get it. So let's send Aragorn here, and we can always ready him if we need to. See what Sauron plays. Watchful Eyes. Okay. Draw no cards at upkeep. So we're not going to be able to hit this one now. Let's see. Let's go ahead and ready. I guess let's just send Legolas to this thing and clear it out. Okay. Ooh, that's brutal. 4 attack on that. Hopefully I can draw some guards next turn. McDog mentioning I always guard with him, meaning Willick twice. He takes it for the team. Yeah, same. I want to do a run where I try to keep him alive, but usually he's just a soak. Sad times for him. Okay, the reason I didn't complete the objective was with Aragorn is because I wanted to save this resource if I could, so that I could potentially play Erkenbrand. I might play something else depending on what I draw, but I'd like to have the option. So I think we'll just finish out the turn by killing this spider. So 2 out of 3 spiders remain. Sauron passes, and I think I'm going to pass as well. Up to 32 threat already. Yikes. See what we draw. We have to deal 1 damage. I think this guy has block if I remember right, so let's drop it on the guard. Another Gandalf Gunner. I'm just drawing very poorly right now. I have, as you saw, like half of my deck is 1-cost allies, but I haven't drawn any of them yet, which is kind of what my whole strategy is based around. A lot of my decks are built around that strategy. Okay. Think we're going to have to Erkenbrand then. Let's just go for that plan. He's going to guard up. Takes a ton of damage from that big spider. I don't think Erkenbrand's going to last that long this time. Let's just go ahead and guard again with him. 2 spiders exhausted. We're in a little bit of business now. I honestly, since I'm not really planning on getting a high score, there's not really a ton of these fate events that are reachable. I should probably clear this thing, otherwise my threat will raise additionally when I advance. So let's go ahead and have at it with Aragorn. Oof. Okay, so he's probably going to play a big beastie. I don't really have a great way to kill time right now. Other than, let's just have Legolas complete this hazard. Okay, that's going to discard the top 3 from my deck. Sauron's actually playing it pretty smart right now with my deck that's not focused on willpower. He's trying to slow me down with that. I don't know if that's intentional or if the AI is that advanced or not, but that's... If it is, then that's pretty good. I think instead of wasting time on this, I'm just going to have to eat the threat when I advance and just focus on killing spiders then. Is probably the better move. This guy is guard, so I'll do 2 damage to him. Or I could focus on trying to... I think I should focus on getting rid of this one. Because I can get him down to... Really? Man. I do want to kill this spider, though. He'll probably play some enemy and attack me, whatever. Alright, I just need to get rid of one of these spiders. Okay, it's fine. I've had worse. Yeah, asking in the chat, is there a card DB up and running? Yeah, Hall of Beorn, which has been a wonderful database for a long time for the tabletop game run by my friend Dan and podcast partner Dan, has added digital to the site. So that's hallofbeorn.com. And I think it just has the core set of digital cards now, but I think he's working on adding them all, so that's be a handy place where you can just quickly look up cards. So let's deal damage with Legolas, and that'll be very handy to polish off that spider. Ooh, there's some of our guys. Okay, now we're in a little bit of business, so let's get out the guard of the Citadel. So we got 2 guards on the board. That's immediate death to the guard, but that's fine. That essentially soaked this huge attack. And I think our other move is just going to be to get the Dwarven Axe finally on... although, only reason I'm hesitating is because I know that all the heroes except 1 get captured in the next stage and they lose their attachment, so I'm just wondering if I should hold off and put the axe on Gimli when I'm done with this stage. And I think the answer to that question is yes, actually. I'll hold off on playing the axe on Gimli till he's free. The reason I pick Aragorn as the guy who sticks around is because he has 2 will. Makes it a bit easier to free the other heroes, and otherwise you're stuck with 1 will. And my allies, because I don't have Spirit or Lore, don't have a ton of willpower. So let's get Veteran Axe Hand out. See what Sauron does. Treachery. Okay. Could be, you know, all kinds of things. I'm going to prepare to travel in a bit, which is going to involve just killing this guy. But I got some room to maneuver. So let's just fade up a little bit in preparation, so we don't have to do a bunch when we get to the next stage. Hatchling Spider, that's fine. Let's have the Lancer kill it. Okay, a little bit of lag there. 1 threat. Okay. Sauron has 1 resource left. I think I can afford to fate with 1 more person. So let's fate with the dwarf. Oh, Soren has 2 treacheries in the chamber. Okay. So let's attack the spider here. And then, because he has block, we're going to need all the rest of our guys to finish it off. So Aragorn is going to stay in play. Other guys go bye-bye, and then we're going to travel. The problem I'm running into here is so far in a couple of my testing, I've drawn my Sigil Miners in opening hand or early, which gets the resources going so that I can play for these more expensive cards like Gandalf, Gondorian Shield, but I haven't seen any of them so far. So that's slowing down things a bit, along with not drawing our lower cost cards. Okay, we're just gonna save our fate. So we're gonna raise 2, 1 for traveling, 1 for this ready thing. So we're gonna hit that effect, which is drawing no cards at upkeep, which is gonna hurt a bit, because again, our hand is not great as of yet. But what can you do? Okay, so let's see the story. We're cutting our way into the center of the webs. But as we do, 2 of our party have been captured. We're trying to get to rescue them, but of course some spiders show up and orcs to stop us from rescuing our friends. Check in on chat here. Stokesbug mentioning pretty high cost hand. Ian, where's your steward? I know. So Sigil is my steward equivalent in this digital deck, and it's not there yet. McDog mentioning if you're able to get 4 fate, you can get a hero back immediately. Yeah, that was my plan. Unfortunately, I ran out of bodies, but I'm close. I only need 1 to get there. McDog betting that the treacheries are cancel the next event and then exhaust the next ally to enter play. Yeah, very good bets on those. Okay, let's see what we want to do here. Okay, yep, we're not drawing any cards at upkeep. We knew that going in. So only raised by 1. So maybe I was wrong about your threat raising for hazards that are still in play, but I could have sworn that happened to me yesterday. So who knows? It's still a bit of a mystery to me. I know the ready enemies for sure raise your threat, but I'm not sure about the hazards. Okay. We got a block going, so that gives us some breathing room. I think the best move is to ready to fade up so we can get one of our heroes back. Just the question of who. I'll probably have a resource free. Probably my plan, I try to plan ahead a bit. I have 3 resources, probably 1 resource for an Aragorn use and 2 for Dwarven Axe, something like that. So in that case, let's use our action advantage. Let's see, Stokesbug, I think it's just ready enemies, but all the hazards resolve their effects, so maybe you had the one with Watchful Eyes, which is +1. Yeah, that could be. It could be maybe just... Oh yeah, that's probably what it was. I had the Watchful Eyes one out, and since traveling essentially ends the round, that triggered on the upkeep. Good to know, good to know. So I probably didn't need to spend as much time clearing hazards last round, but it'll improve the score a little bit for whatever that's worth. So let's fade up. He's going to attack my garden, that's fine. Oh, it's poisoned by spiders. Okay, so Erkenbrand's out of commission for a bit. Okay. Number 5 is 4 damage to a spider, but it's more important to get our hero out, which is Gimli. That's good. Let us block with the axe hand, just to save some more hero health. Ooh, nasty one. Okay, well, I'm just going to be taking some damage at this point, so let's get the Dwarven Axe on Gimli. Sauron passes, huh? It's always interesting to me when Sauron passes in those instances, because he has 2 enemies here, but I guess he really just doesn't want to swing into my guard. But, I mean, I feel like Sauron should just kind of... I don't know. I feel like Sauron should kind of just commit his forces and try to take me down and get rid of that guard with 1 and use another to attack me. I mean, I'm going to kill him anyway. So... Sauron passed. So let's go ahead and clear the guard first with our Lancer. Let's just take a look at who's the nastiest. I think this one has the most attack and health, so let's kill it. Okay, let's go ahead and use Aragorn to do something. Anything worth fading here? Nothing too great. I mean, they are great, but not enough. I feel like I should just kill something to get control of the board. So let's do that. And that'll be it for me. Up to 37. I forgot to check what the 37 threat event is. We'll find out. Every spider and orc gains guard. That's right. Still, my 1-cost allies are just hiding. It's like half my deck. The rest of these cards must just be all 1-cost allies at this point, because I don't know where they are. Okay. STMac in the chat. Streaming under board games on purpose, or just forget to switch it to LOT or LCG? Just forgot to switch. That was my bad. I'm so used to streaming board games for the tabletop. Okay, we got 1 guard up with the Axe Hand, which gives us some breathing room. I think we'll use the Lancer to clear one of the guards. The other one will attack into the Axe Hand. And okay. 2 birds with 1 stone. Yeah, I gotta remember to switch it over to Lord of the Rings LCG. I'm not sure if I can do that after the fact. I don't think so, but we'll find out. Got some resources to spend, but I don't want to spend them until I find out what Sauron has planned. So I think we're just gonna swing into these cocoons and try to get our other hero back. Another treachery. Treacheries all day, huh? Maybe I will play something now. Could play a Gondorian Shield. +2 health and a block. I mean, I could put one on Gimli. I could put one on the Axe Hand and make it like a super blocker for a little bit, which is kind of fun and preserves my heroes. I could put the bow on Aragorn, turn him into more of a killer, and he gets ranged. Or I could put the shield on Aragorn as well. I think I'm kind of tempted to do the shield Axe Hand plan. Yeah, that sounds kind of fun. So let's do that. So that Axe Hand now has 2 attacks, 7 health, and a block. And Sauron has 1 resource in the chamber. I'm out of resources. I'm going to attack with the Axe Hand just so I have a ready Gimli to swing at whatever comes out, if anything. Mirkwood Flock. I'm kind of fine just taking... I really don't like giving Sauron the extra resource, so I'll just let him ping me. I'm fine with that. Let's just drop... I think Aragorn will free one. So I'm kind of tempted to just fade up with Gimli. Kind of weird, but I do want to get some another fade event completed. Up to 38. Spider's poison goes away. Got a sneak attack. Stoke's book saying don't play any cards, make them waste those 3 resources spent on treachery. Yeah, one of them has to be the vet one, so if I play sneak attack, like 10 out of 10, it's gonna get canceled, I'm sure. I do wish I had a sneak attack work like the tabletop game, because I'd have a nice sneak attack Gandalf combo going. In the tabletop game, for those who don't know, sneak attack puts an ally in your hand into play, and it goes away at the end of the phase. Okay, just taking a look at my hand. I have the bow. I have 2 quick strikes. I have a sneak attack. I'm not in love with any of my options, really, to be honest. Yeah, really not in love with any of my options. I think I'll just guard up with Erkenbrand for now. He's on death's door, but what can he do? Reduce each player's hand to 3 cards. You might as well. My hand sucks. I mean, it would kind of hurt, but I'm not that invested. Let's see what we get from this cocoon. Ooh, there we go. It's our other hero. Got a spider out. Okay. It would suck if one of his treacheries enters play exhausted and I play a Gandalf next turn, which is kind of what I was planning on doing. That would make me very sad. Okay, so let's kill a spider. Yeah, I'm kind of not bothered that much about losing my hand. I almost would rather just... I should kill this guy so that I don't get more threat. Even though it's going to give Sauron a resource. T-Mac mentioning it's kind of weird. The difficulties don't feel much different due to how poorly costed some of Sauron's cards are. Yeah, I know there's been some chatter in the various discords and places about the difficulty, and essentially the harder difficulty adds more resources to Sauron, but it doesn't necessarily change the kind of cards that are being played. If the higher power Sauron cards already cost a lot, then it doesn't necessarily... that boost in resources for Sauron doesn't necessarily mean a huge difference in what kind of cards are played. That's a good point. We can try to clear this hazard or fade up. I think let's fade up. Spend a resource on that. Surge action, fade up. Almost to that sweet spot of 7. I love that Erendiel star. I think that's gonna do me. Discard 4 cards. Okay, sneak attack. These quick strikes I'm not really using. I guess a Gandalf, but it would be nice to have the option of 2 Gandalfs. Nah, I'll drop. I don't think I'm going to play 2 Gandalfs, so let's get rid of one. I was thinking of, you know, maybe I could drop my threat all by 6, but I don't think that's going to happen. Not in how much of the game is left. Did I press end phase instead of travel? Oh, well, that was an interesting move. Yeah, I meant to travel and not end phase. Ugh. That'll hurt in terms of score. Yeah, sometimes your finger just gets in that mode of just pressing end phase instead. So I think I'll just play out the turn, keep control of the board, fade up some more, see what I get. Yeah, that's about all I'm going to do, I think. So we got guard up. Let's just finish fading up. See what Sauron does. That was a boneheaded move. But what are you going to do? Okay, we got this spider with guard up. I'm just tempted to let him swing into Erkenbrand. So, let's see. I still want to save... ST Mac mentioning I have done that. Yeah. And of course I would do it on stream. Let's see. Well, we might as well spend our Erendil Star. I love that first stage reference. So... I could use it on health or attack or will. Our health is actually fairly decent. Gimli is 1 away. Legolas is... So sometimes I'm tempted to use it for health just to improve my score. But I think I'm just going to go full smashy and pick the attack bonus. Because it just looks so good when you have Gimli at 6 attack. Okay, I still want to save up for Gandalf, so I think... Well, let's just put a warrior sword out there on Legolas. See how Sauron responds. Okay, another spider guard. Legolas can take out one with his ranged. Sauron passes because he doesn't want me to... he wants to get that threat from the enemy. And I'm saving to play Gandalf until next stage, in case you're wondering. I'm mainly looking for his threat reduction, but if he helps me kill some stuff or handle things, that's fine. If I have a sneaking suspicion, I'll probably get exhausted. Since Sauron's going to play that game, I'm just going to have to swing in and take 1 damage. That's fine. Although I could give Gimli a shield, and he wouldn't take that damage. And I would still have enough resources for Gandalf next turn. Yeah, let's do that. That makes me feel good. Okay, up to 13 health with block. And untouched. Okay. What does this thing do again? Reduce each... I'm already at 3 cards. Or I could fade up. 4 damage to a spider. I guess I'll fade up. I was just trying to think. I'm not sure at this point what will be better in terms of score, whether clearing a hazard or fading will be better. But let's fade up. Okay. I am thinking of drawing cards, but I'll wait till this goes off. That'd be kind of pointless to draw and then have to discard. So I think I'm good to go at this point. Let's travel this time, Ian, and not in the face. Ransom Man saying shield for sure. Yep. And always forget to fade up before travel. Yeah, once my first game of this digital went really rough, and then once I figured out the pacing and fading up before travel and preparing before travel, doing your blocks, then the game got a lot more straightforward. Okay, so our heroes have been rescued, but now Ungoliant Spawn has made herself known, the Lady of Bogwood, Broodmother of the Western Forest. And so now we're going to have to fight that beastie. Okay, deal 2 damage to 3 different characters. Okay, that's gonna hurt my score a little bit. What can you do? Who do I want to damage? Usually I try to use my damage to bring someone within the range of a hit, but I don't think that would really apply here. So I think we'll just drop it on Ungoliant Spawn. Payment of War. And there's my Sigil Miner. Okay. Ransom Man in the chat asking, how's the game holding up for you? Good so far. I haven't gotten tired of it yet. I'm definitely looking forward to new content, but I can't complain. Like when the tabletop came out and or a new expansion or deluxe comes out, you just end up playing those quests over and over, so it's kind of similar. There are some things. The main thing I would like tweaked is the scoring, just to encourage more different types of decks. And I know they said they're working on that, so I'm interested to see how that happens. And any other things. I feel like the whole strategy of, like, once you're ready to travel, fading up and preparing and being able to turtle, like, it doesn't spoil the experience for me, but I'm just wondering if some tweaks could be made there so it's not as easy for players to just take their time and just turtle up so they can steamroll Sauron. Just in terms of difficulty, it's been a fun experience, but I feel like, and this is also the first campaign, so maybe it's intentionally a little bit on the easier side, but I haven't found it super difficult. I'm trying to say that in a way that doesn't sound like I'm bragging, but I just mean that I think my own personal preference, like, I feel like the difficulty could be tweaked a little bit up, and not even so much in just like harder enemies, but just in how the game works a little bit with like the traveling and that kind of thing. But I'm not super like set on any alternatives yet. Yeah, Ransom Man mentioning I hate the damage is factored into scoring because I really like Dwellin a lot. Yeah, I haven't even used Dwellin yet, partially because of those reasons. I think that has to be changed if you want to incentivize people to use the... Because in the tabletop, I love heroes that have abilities that trigger off taking damage. It's super fun writing that line, but I don't think it's going to be really popular in this game unless that's changed. Okay. Yeah, okay. Just catching up on chat. So I can... So the 4 when exhaust and Ungoliant Spawn, which could be useful more than drawing 2 cards, I think. So maybe I'll fade up for that. So right now we have a block going. Rickenbrand's probably going to die. I do want to drop a Gandalf, as you do. I could also drop a Sigil Miner and then spend his power to get up to Gandalf level. That's also an option. So I might just do that. Although if he has a enters play exhausted, that means... but if I have to delay a turn in playing Gandalf, that's not the end of the world, and at least I made him spend that. Yeah, so let's call Soren's bluff, see what he's got. he did have that one, so that means I'm not going to be able to play Gandalf this turn. But that also means that when I do play Gandalf next round, that he won't enter his play exhausted. So I think overall that was probably the right move. Let's guard with the Axe Hand, make use of his shield. Okay, got a couple of other guys coming. Trying to think of the best move here now. You got a couple guards, stalwart. Okay. I could do a watchman to soak some hits. Or I could do... Yeah, at this point, with 3 enemies on the board, he's going to get a hit of my heroes no matter what I do. So let's drop a watchman. He's going to attack there. Let's block with the watchman. Okay, it's perfectly fine. Now, with my 4 attack Aragorn, actually, let's hit this guarded one here. Okay, it's Legolas. I'm hurting on my hero health here at this point, unfortunately. It's going to hurt my score. But again, that wasn't necessarily the end goal. Okay, so Soren has yet to spend his stuff. See, I'm tempted to fade up at this point and get Soren to respond. Every time you play a card, huh? I really don't like that one. Okay, 4 damage to a spider. I think we're going to save it to exhaust Ungoliant Spawn, probably. So let's just have Legolas kill the stalwart guy. Because stalwart sucks. Who's getting block? That little guy? Okay. The reason I'm trying not to swing down on Ungoliant Spawn is because... Actually, I could just kill her this turn, couldn't I? The only reason I would not to is because I'm sitting at 40 threat. And if I end now, then my score won't be as high as it could be. Because I want to play my Gandalf next turn and drop my threat and then finish out. I want to avoid this thing, which gives Ungoliant Spawn 7 health. So let's see. I'm going to gain 1 for playing Gandalf next turn. I'll be up to 42, but then it'll drop down to 39. Or I could try to clear this thing out. Or I could kill things. Oh, decisions. I kind of want to clear this out so I can get rid of that. Yeah, let's see how that goes. Because I don't know what the future holds as far as how many cards I'm going to want to play. And if I keep having to raise my threat every time, that's going to hurt. That is probably going to do it for me. Up to 41 threat. Let's start off by triggering. I forgot. I gotta ping someone. Let's just get Ungoliant Spawn down more. Another Sigil Miner. Okay, let's go ahead and if it lets me. Exhaust Ungoliant Spawn. Puts us in good position. Let's, where's my axe hand? Let's guard with our axe hand. Okay, it's F1. Let's guard with our blocker Watchman here. I gotta make space in my rows for Gandalf anyway, so let's block with our Lancer. And that has the side benefit of killing that guy. So Sauron's at 3 now. I think there's really not a good reason. We might as well drop Gandalf at this point. Okay. Let's see. Let me make sure I pick the one I want, which is to lose 3 threat. Okay, we're down to 38. Got a giant spider coming. The good news is Sauron wasted essentially all of his resources on that. So I'm tempted. Let's see, how do I want to play this? I'm tempted to actually just block with a Sigil Miner. The reason why is because I'm just thinking in terms of score. Let's see. In terms of score, I'm thinking that if I block, because originally I was thinking of blocking with Gandalf, but if I do that, then I'll lose his stats. I could block with Sigil Miner, and then essentially I can use Gandalf to fade up and get another fade event in the bag. That kind of thing. Yeah, so let's do that. I never even got to use this guy for resources, but oh well. Okay. So I think Sauron is out of juice at this point. Let us fade up with Gandalf. We can go ahead and trigger that just to get some more credit. Since we're going to kill Ungoliant Spawn anyway, let's kill something else. Let's kill that thing. Oh, it has block. I didn't even kill it. Oh well. Okay. Let's just finish out this thing then, shall we? I don't think there's really anything else to do. I could try to pad my score a bit, but is it worth it? I'm just thinking if I play Raiment of War on someone, that increases my final health. But let's just finish it off and see what we get. Hit there. Hit there. And Ungoliant Spawn is defeated. Quest complete. Okay, so the end of the quest is essentially finding this strange creature, tying it up with rope. Our friend Smeagol. 245, not bad with kind of a deck that's not optimized in terms of score. So we got 80 on threat level, which is good. You know, our surviving heroes. We had 24 health. Yeah, basically we were getting pinged a bit for the hazards resolved. So I think if we had improved and completed a few of those hazards, I think we would have done better. And the hero health. So I could have turtled a little bit and played that Raiment of War to boost my final health, but I'm not sure exactly how much difference it would make. But I will say that the deck works pretty well. I mean, 245 is not too bad in terms of scoring, and I think we're definitely not at the place yet where the kind of dual sphere decks are ideal, like running 2 tactics and 1 leadership or 2 of any sphere. We're still at a place where tri-sphere is best, just to give you that versatility, and you don't have to do in the tabletop where you have to worry about playing You can only spend resources that match your heroes, essentially. Since you don't have to worry about that, Trisphere is best. So I look forward to seeing a time when the dual sphere decks can work, and that there's more of those cards. But I mean, the 3 Hunters deck, this worked pretty well, got the job done, and was never really in danger of losing or being defeated. So it was nice to see a feasible 3 Hunters deck early in the game in a very combat oriented deck. One thing that's funny is in the tabletop game early on, decks like this one that were just focused on combat would get trounced because you had to quest and have willpower. But in the digital game, since the mechanics are different, this deck is very combat focused and still just, can get through the quest. So that's an interesting dynamic. It's almost reverse in a way, although I do find willpower useful in this game. Going back to some earlier comments in the chat, it's a little weird considering how, this is Stokes' book, considering how combat heavy the game is. If we get to the point where people want to play Mono Spirit, is that only going to be viable against specific quests? Yeah, that kind of goes to what I was just mentioning. This is a more combat heavy game even than the tabletop, so it'll be interesting to see whether we can actually have questing focused only decks against certain quests. Yeah, but the ones that have you beat a big boss like we just did, I don't know. I guess the only way would be if the fate events drop those allies into play with big attack that help you, but that would be reliant on specific quests. So I'm not sure yet. I guess it depends on if we get spirit heroes that can hold their own in combat. I mean, we have someone like Awen, but I mean, without access to tactics and leadership for attachments that boost your attack, I don't know how feasible that would be. It's interesting. We'll see how the game develops and whether Mono Spirit can even be a thing. I hope so. I hope mono of everything eventually becomes a thing. Stokes' book saying you'd have needed 4 points of health to get another 10 points there. Yeah, so the Raiment of War probably wouldn't have made a huge difference, maybe. One more hazard would have been easier. Yeah, I probably could have cleared out one of the other hazards. But as far as changes to the deck, I mean, the card pool is so small, I'm not sure. You could go back and look through the deck list and give me some ideas, if you have them, about what could potentially be changed. Gandalf is definitely key. I'm glad I made that change to get the threat down. Other than that, if there was a way to get more willpower in, but there's not really. There is a card that allows you to apply your attack as a to the progress, but I can't remember offhand, but I think that's maybe a 2-sphere leadership card. If someone remembers in the chat, you can let me know. But it wasn't available for this deck, otherwise I would have used it. So I am relying on the sneak attacks to try to sneak willpower in there. But yeah, I think the main thing that's keeping, funnily enough, like without lore, you would think the damage is the main problem, which it kind of is, but it's more so like clearing those hazards and having enough willpower to do that as well. So I don't know, I'll take a look at the deck, maybe even another couple of copies of something like the Shield of Rohan to add even more health boosting in would help with the score. I might experiment with that. So maybe that's a change. I'll try maybe take out an ally or two and add the Shield of Rohan and see how that goes. But I'm always loath to go too low on allies, because you really need those bodies to guard and block and do all that. Alright, I think that's about it. Thanks for joining me. I look forward to seeing you next time. Next week, I'll probably be going back to a tabletop stream, but we'll see if I sneak a digital stream in there somewhere as well. Alright, till next time, have a good one. See ya.